I found your most relatable enemies. I found it in your career and in business. I found your most relatable enemies, and I'm here to discuss them with you. And in this video, I'm also going to be sharing with you why they should no longer be your enemies because we are trashing them and what you need to do going forward. Okay, so this is going to be good. Now, the first thing I'm going to say to you, in terms of like having an enemy that you can relate to in your career and in your business, is insecurity. Yes, that feeling of insecurity, like you are not enough. That enemy is within. It's within, it's not outside. In fact, in most cases, nobody is actually making you feel inadequate. You just chose to feel that way. And a lot of things contribute to it. And part of it is how you have the kind of sort of experiences you had in the past, plus part of childhood upbringing. There is also the cultural perspective there as well, and there is also the informal competition going on within that is only known to you and you only, but it's going on within. So there is a lot to unpack here when it comes to insecurity, and your continuous feeling of I am inadequate. So if you look around, it's not just on your job that you feel that way. If you look at your life, you amidst your friends, amidst family, do you also feel like that when you're in a group of people, the first thing that comes to your mind is, I wonder if I am the one who is worse off? If you're feeling that way, then we need to work on you because it is an enemy and it is relatable. And what are the things that you need to do? The first thing that you need to do is to work on yourself. There is a lot of work that needs to happen with you because how your mind is operating right now is as a result of multitude of things that have happened to you in the past that has nothing to do with the people you're dealing with now, the kind of situation you're in right now, and all of that. So a bit of it has to do with a bit of purging of your mind, because if you think that in every gathering where you find yourself, you are the least, you're the one who is worse off, or you feel like you have to mentally compete with people, or you think that automatically as long as you're in the midst of people you have to compete, then there's something inherently misaligned that you need to work on. Okay, so I'm just basically showing you some of the symptoms that you would see if you are dealing with insecurity and the feeling of inadequacy. There are even times when people tell you, oh, you're doing a good job, you should continue to do this, and you will still read the things they've written about you or the things they've said to you, and you will still manage to find something off, odd, not right, negative in positivity. Then that's on you, and you need to work on that. The starting point is self-awareness, because in a lot of situations, people will not be telling you that you're doing a good job at work because good job is expected and probably the barest minimum. So people won't tell you that you're doing a good job because you are expected to do a good job. And because people are not telling you that you're doing a good job, you then begin to concoct a lot of things together to say, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, maybe I'm not adequate for this job, maybe my skills level is not up to par. And then you start thinking of many things because people are not so good at telling you that you're good on your job. So you make up all of those things, and that automatically builds into this mighty giant mansion of insecurity, resentment, and lack of collaboration with others because you think you're not good enough. Okay, does that make sense at all? If it does, what do you need to do? First, I need you to know that there was a problem, and it doesn't matter the setting. There was initially a problem, even in the midst of your friends. It can be the fact that you are there because there is a gap that only you can fill. And you need to see that. At work, there is a problem, a resource problem, a skills gap. Only you can feel it. That's why they've brought you on board, and that's why you are in that role. Can't you see that? Can't you see that? So there needs to be a level of self-awareness, positive self-awareness, to help you see that, look, you are bright. And all that you know right now is all that is enough for you to do your role. And even though people have things to say in terms of you developing in your role, it doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job. People just want you to continue to grow in your role. And so, for instance, I'm making this video for you. I'm a career coach. I've got a career myself. People still tell me the things. In fact, just this week, I still had conversations with my bosses in terms of helping me strategize to be able to hit a particular goal in my career. It is what it is. Does that make me not enough? I don't know, because personally, I am good enough. I'm good for the job that I'm doing. I am amazing. I am a good performer. There's nothing wrong with that. And there is also nothing wrong when you're having things to develop on. You just need to know that. So that level of insecurity that you're feeling, that inadequacy that you're feeling, is an enemy, and you need to get rid of it. You need to trash it. Okay, so you need that level of self-awareness to understand that you have a lot to offer, and that is why you're there. And also know that it is okay if you don't know how to do everything. I wouldn't expect you to know how to do everything. And I'm sure your bosses, your colleagues wouldn't expect you to know how to do everything. And that's where that keyword collaboration comes from. Now, let me tell you the twist, what wraps everything up. Because you have a level of insecurity and you feel inadequate, you see everybody as competition, the people you should be collaborating with, you would not do that. You won't collaborate with them because you think that when you collaborate with them, it will be obvious that it was because you collaborated, that's why you won. If you didn't collaborate, you wouldn't have won. And that is going on in your head, and as such, you're losing out on the win that you should be having. Look, you need that level of self-awareness, and you need to be collaborating with people. You just need to learn how to collaborate with people. There's some ways you will not be able to deliver except you collaborate. And there are some next steps in your life and business right now you will not factually be able to reach if you don't collaborate. Most of the rich guys you see out there building multi-million-dollar businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses, are doing it because they're collaborating with lenders, with equity, with people with equity capital. They're collaborating with businesses vertically, horizontally, to continue to expand and grow an empire. You should learn to do that as well in your career. Once you see, you must be able to have a thought about what you can do and a thought about what you're not so good at, and say, okay, who is that person, who is my peer, or who is my friend, or who is my colleague who can do this or that part. Collaborate with them, let them do the part they're good at, you do the part you're good at. Bring it together, and you're going to deliver awesomeness. It is important. So that's the number one relatable enemy we need to trash. The second one is inaction, and this one, the thing about this one is you have full control over this one, 100% control over this one. Okay, so you see all of the hesitation, indecision, confusion, all of that. You will have good ideas, you will be in meetings, they'll be having conversation, and an idea will pop up in your mind, or an answer will pop, but you will not talk about it because you have made hesitation how you show up to everything. It is an enemy. You must act. There is nothing you can deliver without acting. In fact, I feel personally like the day that my whole life changed was the day that I realized that if I don't do something, it doesn't get done, because I'm an adult. If I don't do something, it doesn't get done. If I don't speak up in the meeting, well, that's on me. If I don't act on my ideas, that's on me. If I don't make this video, that's on me. That applies to you as well. If you have good ideas and you have good opportunities, why don't you act on those? And even if you don't have the opportunities, why don't you create them? Your lack of action is causing you so much pain. There are people that I've personally coached in my coaching experience that The only thing they actually need me for, because they're brilliant, they're great minds, the only thing they needed me for really is for me to channel their energy towards taking massive action to change their lives. Nothing more. Nothing more. Just providing that additional perspective for them to take massive action. And as such, inaction is a relatable enemy for a lot of career professionals. So if you know what you need to do, why don't you get started and start doing it? The last one I'm going to talk to you about is burnout. And a lot of people think burnout just comes from overworking. Just overworking. You can burn your mind out. You can burn your mind out. This is very key. Some people will not genuinely get up and do the work, but they still feel burnt out, tired, numb, can't get up. Because instead of them to actually sit and do the work, they let their mind do the work. So they overthink things, they keep thinking and thinking and thinking and complaining and thinking and complaining. When you put one thing in front of them, they will see 1,001 reasons why it cannot work. And they will keep thinking, and at the same time, they want the outcome of someone who is working and doing the right thing that they need to be doing. That's one aspect of burnout that I personally seen that most times personally, it's not even the stress of sitting down to do the work, it's the stress of thinking about doing the work that is the real issue. Now, there is also the other part, which is overworking yourself or working yourself into the ground. You should know on any small piece of task and project when to get up, move around, get a bit of rest, and come back. Most of the technical issues I've ever had to deal with in the course of my career and that I've been able to think about how to resolve them did not come from me sitting in front of my desk. It came from me taking a walk, or it came from me not in front of that issue, outside of it, and I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, actually, I could do this. Just this past week, I wanted to provide a commentary to a particular issue, and I know that I had provided a commentary a couple of months back, and I was looking for the exact commentary, how I wrote it, and I couldn't really find it anywhere. And I thought about it for about 15 minutes right there in front of my laptop, and I couldn't just come up with it. I was trying to find where is this thing, and I just decided to get up and I took a stroll out. On my walk, I'd even gotten halfway where I was going. I just remembered, oh, look, if this is to provide a commentary for this particular quarter's bit, it means it will be in a particular, because it's a rolling forward thing. So it will be in the previous quarter's sort of document. Why don't you have a look at that? That was the answer. I know, even if I sat in front of my laptop for another 5 hours, I may not think like that. You need to get up. You need to learn to get up. Take a break. And taking a break is not necessarily just in this simple situation that I have just shared. It can also be in the seasons of life. So you can absolutely have a 3-month period where you go all in, which is your busy time to build your brand or to build your career, or you know that this phase of my career, I need these 3 months to prove this for me to get a promotion, or for me to land a job, or for me to go through rigorous interview process to land that new role. So you go all in and you prepare and you give your work, and then you know that after that whole process, I'm going to take a month off, or I'm going to take 2 weeks off where I'm not going to, be as in-depth as I was, and I'm going to just basically rest my mind. So it doesn't have to be a daily thing, and you can also make it a daily thing or a weekly thing. There will be a week in a month where you go all in, especially for very busy professionals, where you work your normal 9 to 5 and then put in another 3 hours, another 4 hours every single day to build a brand. And there's a week where you don't do that. You just focus, you do your career work, rest when you come back from work, and then you go another week. But you can structure it. It doesn't have to be a daily thing. It can be a seasonal thing. So I've talked about relatable enemies, 3 relatable enemies: insecurity, inaction, burnout. Those 3 things, if you learn how to trash them, you are going to come up on top. I know you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave me comments. You know how much I love to have comments, so make sure you leave me very lovely comments, and make sure you like, share. Let me know what you think about this. So like, share this, and also subscribe to this channel. You know, we have over 150 videos on this channel, and we're yet to hit 1,000 followers. So I really need you to hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so that when lovely videos like this are posted, you'll be the first to watch them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.